Our natural heritage is in serious trouble.
Climate change is here, it is terrifying, and it is just the beginning.
Droughts, floods, wildfires, storms, rising sea levels and melting ice caps. Climate change is here, and if you're young like me, you should be worried about it.
Many people imagine there's this untouched wilderness because they see it on their TV screens. But the reality is, there's really not a lot of wild left out there.
We need to protect our environment, and to be honest, it feels like we're not doing enough. And Scotland is not immune. Nature is in trouble, and if nature is in trouble, then so are we. But there's more. COVID was a disaster for all of us. Our mental health services are overstretched, jobs are hard to find, and prices have gone up everywhere you look. Too many of us are being left behind, and it's even worse if you're from a tough background. With 95% of us living in towns and cities, and many in areas of high deprivation, it's no wonder we're becoming more and more disconnected from nature than ever before. And at a time when we need to help nature get back on its feet, we have a green skills shortage and an ageing conservation workforce.
We cannot get the seasonal workers because we don't have people skilled up.
There's a real skills gap in terms of conservation work.
There are simply not enough people with the practical skills and qualifications to undertake the work needed. So what do? Lose hope or despair? Or do we do something about it? John Muir, the father of the modern conservation movement, offers us some inspiration and perhaps an opportunity. He was passionate about conserving and protecting wild spaces and the importance of nature for people. A Scot born in Dunbar, he became the founder of the National Parks movement in the United States. And we have our very own Central Belt long-distance footpath to commemorate his legacy. The John Muir Way footpath runs 200 kilometres between Dunbar on the east coast and Helensburgh on the west coast. Through some of Scotland's most beautiful scenery and some of our most deprived and industrial urban environments. The footpath passes within 10 miles of half the population of Scotland. It's a nature corridor on the literal doorstep of the very people that need it the most. But it needs our help. Long stretches are nature and wildlife depleted.
There's Japanese knotweed in some places and giant hogweed, and again that's an annual thing, so having a team that's able to return year on year to tackle those is really vital.
We need to be looking at rewilding, we need to be looking at seeing how nature is adapting to climate and then giving it a wee bit of a helping hand as well.
So we have an opportunity. Why not recruit those with fewer chances and the greatest barriers to employment?
So this is a great opportunity to improve the natural environment and to improve the life skills and life prospects of our trainees.
I mean, I know when I was starting up here, I was looking for employment and I wasn't really sure what my next move was going to be. But this has basically helped me for the last year, and I've been here and it's done wonders for me, to be honest.
Let's train them up and help them realise the skills they never knew they had. Let's pay them and empower them to improve the spaces close to where they live and take a lead role in planning the work that they carry out.
See, I'm a lot confident with like the stuff that I've got on my CV and all the communication, for speaking to volunteers, speaking to ops leaders, supervisors. It's a whole mix of people, so for jobs in the future I'd be more confident in speaking to people face to face.
Let's find out what's important to them and set them up for the future.
Well, for me it's given me an insight on what real work is whilst getting proper training, as well as giving me a broader mindset when it comes to the environment and stuff.
And at the same time, improve and restore this important nature corridor. It just makes so much sense. We have to tackle the climate and nature crisis, so why not do it in a way that helps us tackle social inequality, and our physical and mental health issues, and our disconnected nature?
Because I know there is large sections in the John Muir Way And I think these sort of things would be great for nature, great for communities.
So the Green Skills project is really, really important because of the outcomes it provides for people, place and planet.
And we've got so many things we would love them to be doing.
And why not employ people at the same time? A no-brainer, right? So what will we do with the help of the Heritage Lottery funding? Over the next 3 years, across 4 local authority areas, the John Muir Way Green Skills project will employ 72 people furthest away from the job market. We'll train them, we'll support them, we'll prepare them for work beyond this traineeship.
I don't think I've ever been fitter in my life, physically and mentally, since I came in this job.
Once he got to the Green Skills pilot, he found his sense of self, his confidence grew, his self-esteem, he realised that he was good at things.
We'll tackle invasive species. We'll clean up areas suffering from waste and pollution. We'll plant trees and hedgerows.
Because by putting in lines of trees, by planting hedgerows, by maybe putting in wildflower plug plants in verges that aren't very diverse at the moment, they can help create these linkages between all the existing ecologically rich sites to give us a really good habitat corridor along the John Muir Way.
We'll connect wildlife corridors, and in doing so, connect people to themselves and to nature. So what difference will this all make? Green skills will mean greater biodiversity and increased connectivity across urban and deprived areas. And along with more species, we will see benefits such as improved soil quality, increased canopy cover, carbon capture, and less fragmentation.
We have to create glades, we have to create space so invertebrates can move through, we have to create space so that understory planting and wildflowers can be planted and thrive.
It needs to be a much better nature corridor. I mean, there's nothing better than a path network for providing connectivity for biodiversity.
All in all, a green corridor and healthy ecosystem connecting people and places.
What we want to ensure is that areas of deprivation have equality in terms of access to quality green space, to biodiversity, and also the health and well-being opportunities that go alongside.
There's a huge appetite out there at the moment for communities to get involved in enhancing their green spaces.
We'll enhance the natural environment for all users along the John Muir Way. Will contribute to the Scottish Government's effort to tackle the climate and biodiversity crisis. Will connect local authorities both internally and with their neighbours.
TCV has really helped departments to look broader than their own siloed priorities, which is what they want to do. Nobody wants to work in that way. And we've really brought people together to think about the art of the possible.
Will strengthen the conservation volunteers' capacity to organise and run major conservation and social projects.
This programme really enhances TCV's reputation as a valued partner. It's not easy to do this work. The range of things that we have to think about, how do we support the people, how do we get the training in place, how do we get the plans for the work along the route, all of those things take work and take partner input, and TCV is a real catalyst for that. That's the role that we've played. And actually, after 3 years, I think people can recognise the value that TCV can bring to a partnership. We're a real delivery partner.
We'll feed more young people into the green skills job market, and will inspire other local authorities along the John Muir Way to do the same.
From speaking to our partners, we know that they are already thinking about this as part of their long-term strategy for their workforce.
And we could be a blueprint nationally to connect employability, environment and green space teams.
There will be people up and down Scotland, right along this route, who could benefit from this programme.
We'll use the Green Skills Story Map, an online opportunity to share our story with the widest audience.
I want someone to walk along a stretch of the John Muir Way and to think about, wow, look at the nature I'm seeing here. That won't happen by itself. I want the people who have been part of that to walk along that stretch and look what I've achieved, look how I've developed. I can see my future here. We're creating lasting outcomes for the John Muir Way, for the participants and for the partnership to develop going forward.
This project just makes so much sense. The knock-on benefits are wide and varied and could be the catalyst for so many more projects just like this.
Now I'm confident on machinery, hand tools, health and safety, PPE, and all of the above. And then with all the courses as well, I loved doing all of the courses, it was good.
It's taught me that I can get through it, that I've stuck with it, and I'm definitely ready to go into full-time employment.